This world is a very vast, a very wonderful and beautiful one, and there are so many things to discover, but the most important journey I think all of us will go through is the journey in ourselves.
1 in 5 adults experience mental illness. 45 million Americans suffer from things like depression or anxiety, schizophrenia or PTSD.
None of us can get through mental health difficulties without being willing to have a conversation and being able to admit that we might need some help. The truth is, no one is invincible. This is why we want to change the way we talk about mental health.
This is a part of me, and that's okay.
It's okay to have this conversation. It's really important to have this conversation and won't be judged. It's so important to break open that fear and that taboo.
I feel like we are not hiding anymore. We're starting to talk.
To be brave enough to force that conversation.
Just to talk.
Because I should be talking about it.
Nothing is solved or eradicated until we start talking about it.
Mental illnesses are a thing. They're real and they're very present, and we need to talk about them.
I don't think there should be anything embarrassing about mental illness. I hope for you is that you have a rich and full life and that you aren't marginalized because of your illness.
I think I deserve to chase my dream and to do what I love even though I have a mental illness.
Like millions of Americans, I am living with mental illness. We can do better.
This is something that we all have the power to change.
Every one of us can make a difference.
We can make a difference.
But it requires all of us to act.
By getting educated on this epidemic and its frightening statistics, and by breaking the stigma.
Destigmatizing mental illness.
Other people go through it, that I can talk to other people, that you're not alone.
They are not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not an alien.
If you declare something, it has less power over you, far less. Say your weak things in a strong voice.
Mental health disabilities are an illness, not a weakness.
A critical goal, and that is to make sure that people aren't suffering in silence, and that we have the capacity to pull together all the resources and support and love that's out there to go after an extraordinary challenge.
I truly encourage everybody to ask for help.
When I did start opening up to you and everyone else around me, I decided I really wanted to get better. I wanted to live a life where I felt worthy of living.
Thank God you did. You get better.
You get better. It was possible to live without a mental illness.
Recovery was not only possible, but inevitable.
And oftentimes those who seek treatment go on to lead happy, healthy, productive lives.
It was a great thing when I realized I can feel alive, feeling joy. I feel more like a complete person, a whole person. You know, you have your really good days and bad days, and I'm certainly not immune to it. It's part of being a human being.
There is hope that mental illness is almost always treatable and that how you feel when you are at your sickest is not how you will always feel.
And I went to meetings and I talked and talked and talked. That's all I ever did. So now I'm here and I'm happy and my life's changed. So if that's all I had to do, then I couldn't believe it. That was that simple.
What, to talk?
To talk. I literally thought it was going to be something so complicated.
Communication is so big.
And starting those conversations, which is often the hardest bit.
We make it a lot harder than it truly is.
If we have a dialogue about it, then we can then understand it and make a change.
Just talking to somebody, having those conversations.
People care about you.
We touch other people's lives simply by existing.
With a little bit of experience, you want to help as much as you can.
The first step is admitting, and then is asking for help.
Many children, even those from stable, happy homes, are finding that their heads are just too full. It is our duty to give all children the space to build their emotional strength and provide a strong foundation for their future.
For me, it's like, not only is it important, I feel like, to talk about as a person, as a girl, as a human, but also because, like I said, these things connect. Sometimes we don't know, we don't realize where it's coming from, and it's coming back from things that we never even knew were passed down to us. Literally, your mind is sick, not you, the person, not the heart of who you are, it's your brain.
They are an issue, not an identity.
We need to talk about it. It's the fact that we don't talk about these things that make them so heebie-jeebie.
If we do communicate, healing can occur.
I challenge you to talk about mental health.
But mental illness and depression is not something to be ashamed of.
That's nothing to be ashamed of.
The kindness that's been shown to me by doctors as well as my family and my friends, it's really saved my life. I've been searching for ways to heal myself, and I found that kindness is the best way. One way to help people that have trauma is to inject them with as many positive thoughts as possible. It's priceless.
We know that recovery is possible, we know help is available, and yet as a society we often think about mental health differently than other forms of health.
I know that my heart is an organ the same as my brain is an organ. So why don't we treat them the same?
Same way you get a rash, the same way you get pneumonia, it happens to your brain too.
It's the same as physical health. You have to prioritize your mental health.
I had just been sort of shunned to the side as not having real problems. I don't know that I would be living today.
It's something that so many young people are dealing with, and so many young people just slip under the rug to things like depression and severe anxiety and many disorders that people know nothing about, okay?
Fear of judgment, stigma, and outdated prejudice meant that too many people stayed quiet about their mental health challenges.
We've got to get rid of that embarrassment, we've got to get rid of that stigma.
Just love them, okay? Hug them and love them up and tell them that it's good, okay? And for me to you, you are worth it.
Worthy.
Or worthy. You are perfect. You need to be here every single day that you are meant to be here.
My friends are not statistics. My friends are not numbers. 0% the terrible things that have happened to them and 100% love.
Get up every day and know that and tell yourself that, okay?
Despair is survivable. Depression is survivable.
Support people who deal with mental illness. Offers a kind word because you don't know how much that helps. You're battling and you're winning.
Maybe the reason the semicolon became the symbol for resisting suicide is not merely that you keep on going when you could have stopped, but rather that you keep on going because you are connected to the things around you.
We all have a connection.
Our inescapable connection with the outside world. I was set free and I was still alive. The rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life.
I've learned to celebrate small successes, I've learned to encourage myself without being cruel, and most importantly, I've learned that there is hope, that when I feel like there isn't hope, my brain is lying to me.
But mental illness and depression is not something to be ashamed of.
I have no shame in that.
We shouldn't be ashamed of it.
What matters is that we continue to make our voices heard in this.
You're not the first to go through it. You're not going to be the last to go through it. Hold on to that fundamental quality of faith. Have faith. And on the other side of your pain is something good.
Once social change begins, it cannot be reversed. You cannot humiliate the person who feels pride. Courage. You cannot oppress the people who are not afraid anymore. We don't have to live our lives forever defined by the damaging things that have happened to us. We are unique, we are irreplaceable. What lies within us can never be truly colonized, contorted, or taken away. The light never goes out.